Good evening. In our news bulletin for tonight, the new increased departure tax has now been implemented after a 2-week waiver. The new Meteorological Service advised that the island should be prepared for dry conditions and also explain the chilly weather conditions. The crown of thorns starfish is discovered in newer waters, raising concern for coral reefs. A workshop was held today for local businesses and departments to learn how to use the MYOB accounting system more effectively. A one-day careers camp was held for Year 10 students at Scenic Matavai to look at alternative career pathways and business concepts. Government has finally followed through with the implementation of the new increased departure tax after a 2-week waiver for travellers. For those who left the island on Tuesday, they were amongst the first to pay the $80 departure tax at the airport because it was not incorporated into their airline tickets purchased prior to this increase. Although there has been much public debate on social media sites, the consensus is that people do not mind paying as long as they are consulted and the increase is justified. The increase from $34 to $80 will be applicable to all travellers 12 years and above, whether they arrive and depart on plane or by yacht or boat. For those who arrive by plane, the departure tax would be incorporated into their tickets, which will save time at the airport. Travellers will now need to present their tickets for inspection to see whether the taxes have been included. Otherwise, they will be required to pay $80 to customs at the airport. Tax hikes are necessary for government to generate revenue that will be used for developments in various sectors in country. Low rainfall has been forecasted for Niue for the next 3 months, and the Niue Meteorological Service have been prompt to provide information for the community. This is not out of the ordinary, but the Niue Met Service explains what factors are influencing the weather conditions that the island is experiencing at the moment.
This is the driest period of the year that we are experiencing at the moment. It's not new information, but it's the normal climate that we experience throughout the year in and year out. But this time of the year, we're experiencing this month of July. There seems to be a lot of high pressure systems coming through Niue, so this will bring us cooler winds from the southern part of the Pacific, and especially from New Zealand, bringing up the cold air, and very windy conditions, especially winds coming from the southeast. So we would expect the eastern coast to be more impacted compared to the west, because the west is more sheltered, and it will be dry as well. We're looking at this winter season to be dry, especially for the next 3 months, because the prediction for the rainfall will be below normal to below normal rainfall for the next 3 months.
Weather forecasts are valuable, especially for farmers who rely on information to guide their planting of crops. There has been a noticeable change in temperatures that make it slightly colder than what some are used to, and no doubt there will be impacts on health and other sectors. Niue Met Service has indicated that people take the necessary measures to adapt to the change in weather. A local fisherman has discovered a rather unusual sea creature and is concerned about the impact it may have on the island's coral. The crown of thorns starfish preys on coral by digesting the surface of living tissue from coral skeletons. It is also listed as an invasive species, and legislation provides for them to be destroyed if found. For divers and fishermen, these starfish have been found in our waters for many years, and dive operators do collect and dispose of them when there are sightings. The starfish was found in Alofi North waters, and discussions are ongoing between those within the fisheries industry to see what can be done in terms of awareness and prevention methods. The advice from experienced fisheries officers is to be mindful that the spines are toxic, and if attempting to remove them, to be careful that parts do not break off, as they can regenerate. Now that the actual specimen has been brought forward by a member of the public for awareness purposes, Those from within the sector do not want to alarm people, but create a level of awareness about these creatures and the impacts they have on the marine environment. If people do see these starfish and are unsure about how to dispose of them, they can contact the Fisheries Division or local dive operators for assistance. Local businesses and those who look after accounts spent a day familiarizing themselves with the Mind Your Own Business accounting package. The one-day training session held at the Niue Lawn Bowls Club Rooms was organized by the Niue Development Bank. There are a number of businesses who use MYOB, and it has been some time since a refresher course was done on the island, and this workshop was one way of increasing capacity on island.
The objective of the workshop is to share what Lindley's doing with us with MYOB, the accounting package. So she's trying to create some efficiencies for us, so we'd make sure we're doing things smart, doing things properly, and using the systems that MYOB's got that we may not be using at the moment. So we thought what we'd do while she's up here for a week is share that with anyone else that wanted to come along. So Chamber kindly advertised for us, and we've got about 25 people in there.
A MYOB training specialist from New Zealand facilitated and provided the accounting training to various representatives from private businesses and government departments.
The main objective of working with MYOB is to help the businesses here get more out of their accounting. They use MYOB, they may not be using it correctly, so I'm here to help them, to train them and to look at their systems and try and get them to get more out of the program, so to improve the way they use the program. So that's the main objective of the island, and also to educate some of the islanders about how they could use MYOB for their businesses. So I want them to get like the education session today is about training the people here how they could use MYOB within their business to improve the way they run it. MYOB is a software company. They have a range of software for small, medium and very large businesses. They also have a range of payrolls used by very small, medium or very large businesses. They have a large range of software. They're a very big software provider. So their software would be used by the businesses here and the government businesses particularly to help them with their day-to-day processing, so that when the audit gets done, we can be confident that things should be accurate in the program. And also it means we can do things quicker, faster, more accurately using a software package.
Although the training was initially arranged for staff at the Niue Development Bank and Kiwi Bank, they decided to open up the invitation to other businesses who also use MYOB to build their capacity and learn ways, or the best ways, to utilize this accounting system.
The things we've learned so far is when you've got someone that owes you money, you can actually hold their invoice or bill in the MYOB system, so you probably don't need to save paper like we do at the moment. So we're going to try that and see how that works. And I guess just other things like making sure you use payroll properly. So the MYOB payroll system, you can actually get it to do your annual leave, your sick leave, your bereavement leave. You can get it to do toil for you and all that sort of thing. So just understanding that's been quite good.
What I'm hoping that we do is the bank can provide resources to install and set up and train the customers, or to do their bookkeeping, and that I can back up the bank, and of course I get backed up by MYOB New Zealand as well. So we're hoping that we can have businesses using MYOB software here on the island and get, and businesses should be more efficient if they can use a package as opposed to not using anything.
It is hoped that with a better understanding of how to use MYOB properly, participants will be able to transfer this knowledge into their departments and businesses, making work more efficient. A careers camp was held at scenic Matavai to give students pointers on business developments and providing alternative career pathways in the private sector. The Niue Young Entrepreneur program is focused on Year 10 students to encourage them to consider different career options. The Niue Chamber of Commerce has been conducting sessions with Year 10 students in the school every Tuesday morning during Careers Day.
So every year we do Year 10. But with the Year 10 moving into Year 11, 12, 13, they move into NCEA. So hopefully it helps them decide what subjects that they're going to take, because they're going to start thinking about what careers they're going to do. Some of these students are going to be doctors and lawyers, like they've told us. Some are actually wanting to go on scholarship. But others, they want to look at ways of making money, ways of helping out the country by staying here and setting up a business. We've got one group who's actually looking at providing their business idea after the class, after everything's finished in Business Expo, to people who want to hire them. So that's actually making them think further afield than just today, so it's really good to see.
The group of Year 10 students last year proved to be a success because each group had created a business plan. KiwiBank provided and approved their business proposal, and teams had also displayed and sold their products during a business expo at the National Show Day. The success of the program shows that there is a great potential for young people as long as they get a bit of guidance.
The potential is massive. The opportunity to give young people a taste of entrepreneurship and to give them a taste of what life is like as a business owner and to run a business and to have financial responsibility and accountability in a really small setting. Gives them a chance to be business owners when they finish school. They've got 3 more years left of school, and Year 10 is where they found a sweet spot to share with young people, where they've not made decisions for end of school, and they've just come out from being the juniors at a high school.
The business plan for their business idea, their concept, goes through everything that is required, from the name, from having directors on their business, looking at the financial side, looking at competition, how they're going to market it. All of that has got to come into one proposal, one plan, and we are going to take them to KiwiBank, because KiwiBank's been kind enough to be associated with the program, and they are going to actually go as a business to pitch their business idea to KiwiBank and get some startup funds.
Students will get the opportunity to launch some of their business ideas and products or concepts at the local Business Expo in October during the National Show Day this year. And those are our stories for tonight. Have a good evening.